Hi, my name's John. Welcome to another Sunday night nightcap. Tonight's nightcap's going to be a little bit different to normal. It's going to have the normal car boot sale things in it. There's no machining in this one. I did some machining for a lad. I milled some aluminium. One of my computer hard drives has decided to stop playing, so I'll have to take the computer in to get sorted out tomorrow. Hopefully I can include that in next week's video. There's also a viewer package came, the parcel arrived for us. I opened that on camera. That's also on the now defunct hard drive. I'll try and get that on for next week. I did get to a car boot sale this morning. I bought a couple of books. There's a book on flat steam, which I'm interested in, and a book on model marine steam engines, which is also an interest of mine. The only tool I bought was this. It's a set square. It's a big bugger as well. I haven't cleaned it up to see which kind of manufacturer's make on it, but it's very old. Guy reckons it's been in his shed for 30 years that he knows of. It'll be good for setting things up for welding. I needed a decent square. I give the lad £5 for it. It really is a substantial bit of gear. You could clamp things to that and weld them, and it's not gonna move. So I've got that to clean up and put to good use. Quite a few weeks ago, I did a repair on that Flexy DTI mount I've got, what I call a snake mount. I soft soldered the board and cable into the ferrule. It pulled out. I silver soldered it in, and the cable become brittle. What I've done, I've got some better solder, some proper tin solder, and I managed to get some Baker soldering flux, proper soldering flux. So I'm going to repair it again, and hopefully this time it'll work a lot better. What you don't need to do, you don't need to make sure that the end of the cable is well spread into the ferrule before you solder it, into the nipple before you solder it. So you make a nice tapered wedge of solder, which is well keyed into the nipple before you solder it, and that's well spread out there now. It's going to have a decent plug of solder in the end. This is proper nasty stuff. It's hydrochloric acid with zinc dissolved in it, what they call killed spirits, that works. There's a radiator shop that we use at work. They had some left, so he gave us some. I don't think you can get it anymore. Right, so we've got our cable into the end of the nipple. There's a good countersink in there, and it's well spread out. I'll go and get the iron and we'll try and solder it. I've run out of propane. This method of heating the iron is probably best kept for when the wife is out. Try not to leave telltale drops of solder on the cooker. It iron's nice and warm. Put a little bit of solder on the end of it. Right, we've got our cable which has been in the flux. You can hear the solder and the flux boiling its way up through there. Right, hopefully you can see the solder's come all the way through up the cable. It's got a really good plug of solder on the end. I'll clean it on the grind now, we'll put it back together. Right, that's cleaned up quite nicely. You can see it's got a solid plug of solder on the end, and the solder has run all the way up through the nipple into the cable. That simply clips into there like that. I'll reassemble it and we'll give it a try. Little circlip goes on the end of there. That's it. Right, we'll adjust some of the slack out of it, and hopefully this time it'll work without pulling apart. That feels nice and solid. So I use it for my camera mount quite a lot. It's a handy tool to mount a camera on because you can get any angle you want with it. That feels good. It feels like it's not trying to pull apart anyway. We'll give it a try and see what happens. I think this is the third or fourth time I've repaired it. Hopefully this time it'll work. It certainly feels solid. There's no, you can't feel it pulling the nipple off. Time will tell. I go for a walk and I take my video camera with us and I end up at an old colliery site. There's very little to see, but what there is to see, I did video, and then believe it or not, I actually went and picked some blackberries, fetched them home, and I've at the minute got a blackberry tart in the oven cooking. I'll show you some of that. This is the reclaimed site of an old coal mine in Colliery called the Isabella Colliery. It's situated only 2 or 3 miles from where I live. As a small child I used to come down here. The pit was closed, but all the old buildings were still intact. The main shafts were still open. They had a big tower around to stop you getting into them, but we used to climb up on top of the tower and throw things down them. One of the favourites was a bit of rag soaked in paraffin, set on fire and thrown down. That was quite spectacular. Unbelievably dangerous looking back, but good fun at the time. We used to play down here on motorbikes and pedal bikes. Now unless you've got a horse, I don't think you're welcome. This is the top of the pumping shaft. It's been capped off. I remember coming down here as a child. There was a big brick built building here. The pit was closed and they were on removing the pumps from the shaft to salvage the pumps to use in a different pit. The shaft's still open below here, but it is full of water. You see how nature has actually taken over the land. It's taken the land back. Amazing to think what was once here. This is the top of one of the main haulage shafts. It was actually 360 feet deep. It's still open underneath this cap, but it is full of water. The water drains out into a stream. We'll go and see if we can find the outlet. That's the only thing that remains. This is the stream that the main water runs into now. You can see the brown colour, orange colour. It's actually rust soup. This is where the water actually drains out of the mine into the stream. It never stops. It slows down a bit in the summer and it really comes out in the winter. It's draining all the mines for quite an area around here. There's mines higher up, so all the water runs down into this one, then out of here. This shot's roughly taken from the same place as the following picture was taken. There's very few pictures in existence of this colliery. In fact, there's none apart from this one that I actually know of. This bit of land's actually one of the old spoil heaps from the mine. Nature's certainly taken over here. There's a vast amount of brambles and blackberry bushes. Lots of blackberries out now, they're ready to pick. I think what I might do, I might pick some and then go home and make a blackberry pie or a blackberry tart. I used to come blackberry picking as a young lad with my father, my brother. See, I'm giving more away than we kept. I cannot see many young lads today going blackberry picking. Right, these are the blackberries we picked earlier on. First thing we do, we'll put a little bit of salt in with them. A little bit of cold water. All this does, any little nasty creatures that could be living in there, the salt makes them come to the surface because they don't want to be eating nasty little creatures. Right, well, blackberries have been in the salty water for a couple of hours now. Rinse them under a cool tap, or rinse. Any little bits of stalk you pick out. Any bad ones you pick out. There's a bad one. Basically, as you're picking them, you try and keep them clean. Right. They're going to a pan next. A little bit of water. Plenty of sugar. And they're boiled up on the gas string or stewed. Then we'll put them into the oven to bake our blackberry crumble. Starting to warm up now, all the sugar's dissolved. We'll then simmer like this for a few minutes just to cook them off. And it's simmering away quite merrily there now. Right, I've drained most of the water off. The blackberries go into a Pyrex dish. And our cheat, I just buy a packet of crumble mix. That goes in like that into the oven, fairly hot oven, 180, for roughly half an hour, and that will be all brown and golden and nice. Well, I think for a motor mechanic that pisses about, that looks quite decent. A bit of nice custard on that, and it should make some very pleasant eating. Yes, I think that'll do for John's tea quite nicely. The polo shirts have gone really well. The first lot have all been sold. They've all been posted off, so you should all have your polo shirts by now. If you haven't, email us and I'll find out why. There is some more coming, so if anybody wants a polo shirt, just email us. I'll put my email address on the end of the video and we can sort it out from there. Anyway, thanks once again for watching, thanks for subscribing, and thanks very much for clicking the like button. Good night. Bastard. Oh, you fucking whore.